So it's day 218 of Hey, What Are You Doing Today? And it's one of those crisp, I guess it's still technically fall. I mean, November 18th. I'm not sure when winter starts. It's something I should learn as I've gotten into this journey. When I come across things I don't know, I investigate them a little bit. So anyway, I assume it's a fall night, cold. One of those nights where it's just crisp. There's no other way to explain it. You know, just a slight, just enough chill in the air to make you aware that it's cold, and just a real clean air, almost like what you would feel in the mountains. You know, all the colors reflecting off of the thing. You know, the lights and whatever's around, and just a real clear kind of night. And it's the first time I've done I do little meditations, and you know, I'll turn on a certain kind of music. I've been concentrating more on the frequency 528. I don't know why. It just seems to make me feel good, and so I'm rolling with it. I don't know too much about it or what it's really supposed to do. I never really got into it too heavily, but I noticed that of all the frequencies, if I listen to that one kind of just gives me an energy, and I don't know, you know, just that's what I get from it. Whether or not that's in my head or if I'm really getting an energy from it, that doesn't matter, because what it comes down to is I'm really getting an energy from it. However I obtain it, but just a crisp feeling that went with it. You know, doing it at night. There's not a moon out, so it's a pitch black sky, and you know, where I'm at, there's quite a bit of light, so you can't see any stars. So it's just pure black above, and just that cool, crisp feeling just went together perfectly. And you know, I think about it. You know, years ago I might have laughed at meditation or made fun of it. Breathing exercises, you know, or just written them off as something silly. And there's a judgmentalness that was around when I was growing up, and I see it now. I see a change. I'm recognizing a change, and it may just be because I'm changing, or it may actually be a world change. But you know, 20 years ago, it was almost like you had to hide. If you were trying to improve yourself, you almost had to hide the books you were reading. You had to, you know, kind of, you know, unless you were on level with somebody that was doing the same thing, then you could share it. But otherwise, it kind of, and that may still be true in some regards today, but there was kind of an element of you need self-help, and you know, blah blah blah. And it was kind of funny. And now it seems like people are becoming so much more aware of this, and there's a shift going on. You know, people becoming more aware of meditation, its benefits, more aware of breathing exercises, its benefits, more aware of studying spirituality, more aware of all those things, and you know, studying self-development, or you know, self-improvement, wherever you can get the information. And it's an amazing thing. It really is. And I think that shift is changing. There's also another unique shift that I see going on. It's like the world is simultaneously growing more together and more apart at the same time, and it's such an interesting dichotomy. The hate is growing stronger, and the love is growing stronger, all at the same time. The understanding is growing better, and the misunderstanding is growing larger. It's such a peculiar time we're living in, and it's like we're right on the cusp. It's almost like to me, I can almost feel like we're either going to blow up or we're going to move forward. And I'm wondering if there's something to that. I wonder if there's something in science that, you know, as things evolve, you know, any kind of natural evolution, whatever it may be, even if it's just, you know, changing in temperature, changing in climates, is there a point where either you push through or you fail? Is that and when that point meets where there's that necessity to push through, are those the only two options? Can this world that we're living in continue to extend down this road with this technology that we have, and you know, the fact that we can be anywhere at any given time? We can, you know, and that's quickly developing even faster, to the point where maybe we can be anywhere at any given second at some point soon. You know, but where do we start to recognize that, you know, we're all the same, or do we recognize? Do we start to recognize how different we are? I mean, and where does the break occur? Where does the, you know, which route does humanity go down? Does humanity finally realize that we're all in this together, and we should just do our best to for the best of everybody, or we're all individuals, and we all need to step on whatever we can to get to whatever's best for us. That's kind of the dichotomy that I feel. Speaking of dichotomy, there's quite a few going on right now in this world, but and I think I'm choosing the path of it's not really about me. It really isn't. It's about a better understanding. It's about a better way of treating people. It's about a better way of being treated. It's just all around just a higher level. There's a sense of calm that comes that I can tap into. I can't hold on to, at least not right now. I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to hold on to it. But there's a sense of calm when I can accept and allow anything that could possibly happen to happen. Just accept it for what it is. Do what I can to kind of maintain a control over myself and a control over the world around me, but ultimately be totally open for anything. And if I take something in that I disagree with, just to accept it instead of fighting it, and sit on that mental plane and with that energy that doesn't need to be expelled or spent. If I take it and receive it, perhaps look for a lesson in it, or perhaps look for the funny side of the situation, until just ultimately just accept it, allow and accept it for what it is. It generates a sense of freedom to my life that is so much nicer than trying to control a situation, I guess. I'm speaking in very vague terms, but I don't want to use specific examples because there's this could be different to anybody. But just letting things go, cutting people some slack if something occurs that I don't agree with. Maybe I just don't know what their side is. It's just that simple. I don't know what the situation is on their side, and I can take it and try to digest it for what it means on my side, but it's not really my thing. So I just gotta allow it to be and let it go. I started going on another tangent there, and I lost it, but it was something that I wanted to talk about. But I guess it just comes down to the more I learn. Oh, that's what it was. Two things that I've kind of been practicing that became real relevant today. One is seeing how quickly I can change out of a bad situation. So a bad situation comes in, and whatever it may be, but it affects me psychologically and spiritually and emotionally, and now I'm in this negative state. But I can stop myself, and I can be aware of that negative state, and I can dwell on it, which is something I would have done in the past. And of course, that just generates more and more negativity, and replaying that negativity and over and over again until it becomes a boiling stew of whatever it is. It's just a useless emotion and useless energy. Or I can stop. I can look at it and see how quickly I can leave it. See how quickly I can just let it go, allow it to be, accept it, and then move on and not carry it with me. And then the other element is, as I'm becoming more observant and just watching people. Another aspect has been popping up throughout this journey, and that's body language. And I haven't really got too much into it. I haven't really studied it or looked at it. Bits and pieces have come out of different things that I've been reading or listening to, but I never really paid attention. But today, for the first time, I stopped and just started watching people in different situations and how they do move, based on the little bit of information I have. The whole open and closed and leaning forward and aggressive stances and passive stances, and it's so interesting how we do communicate, and and understanding that so much is said between people that isn't really said, and so in turn so much can be misunderstood, that or understood, whatever the case might be. But just an amazing world. Everywhere you look, it's just amazing. The last couple of days, one of the things that recently started doing was I call it talking to God, but again, I hate giving that energy source a name that someone might put some kind of, hear some kind of connotation and think in regards of, have some negative thought, a Bible thumper or this or that. But it's not that same God. It's not the God of the doctrines. It's not the God that's gonna smoke people. It's the same thing as I mentioned this before, the Tao or the Buddha, or they're all, in my mind, when I speak of it, they're all the same. However, if I talk to that source, it calms me. So there's a valid and valuable thing that comes from that. Whether or not there's a source listening to me, whether or not a source exists, that doesn't matter. What does matter is how it benefits me. And so I talk to this God, and all of a sudden I start feeling more calm, more in tune to myself. I can think through my problems a little bit. It's just like talking to my subconscious self in some regards. And ultimately, I guess maybe it is, the energy that's within me is the same energy that I'm talking about when I speak about talking to God. But it's a way to clear thoughts. It's a way to draw myself into an idea. Just to hold that conversation. But anyway, as I've been holding that conversation, it's only natural for me to give a little bit of gratitude and give a little bit of thanks. I've been doing it in the mornings on the car ride. I'm just talking openly. I go over and I listen to some of my notes, and then I record my notes, and then once that recording is over, I'll stop and I'll have a conversation. And the last 6 or 7 days, as this has been going on, my conversation has always started with, "Wow, this is a beautiful morning. Thank you for this morning." It has been. And there are things I might not have paid attention to had I not had that conversation. A little interruption there, but I was thinking, I make the same drive every day, and I've never paid attention to the drive. I've never paid attention to what I pass. I've never paid attention to how things look. And now I'm starting to see things. I'm starting to see trees that I didn't notice before, lines of trees, or landmarks, or buildings, and it's just an amazing thing that flies past us every day, or flies past me. I can't answer for anybody but me, but the things that fly past me every day that I would never notice because I don't take a second to notice. I get so, in the past, and I'm hoping to change this, I get so caught up in reliving things. There's very little valuable in that unless I'm seeking a lesson. If it's just reliving it to relive it, to generate the negative side of things, or if it's just reliving it to, whatever it is. But that's probably the height of zombie time, of that zombie mentality, is the commute to work. What do I get lost in? Do I get lost in being angry at how people are driving, or do I get lost in how slow we're moving? Do I get lost in all of that, or stop and pay attention and try to take something from it? And do I notice a tree? Now there's a tree that's going to probably be my favorite tree to see every day. As silly as that sounds, but it's something. It's something. I'll see that tree come into bloom. It's now totally leafless, and it towers above all these other trees. And I would have never noticed it before. It's in a line of trees, and it's every bit of 30 feet higher than any of them, and it's got kind of, it's missing most of its branches because it's old, and it's outgrowing itself and probably dying. It's probably been dying there for years. And I've driven past it, never saw it. Now I see it. Now, come the spring, will it flower? Will it come back? Is it a dead tree? I don't know, but I'm curious to find out. And I'd rather think about that than what the guy in front of me is. Why he keeps doing whatever he's doing, that's upsetting me, But thank God for this new awareness. Thank Buddha for this fresh, clear night, Thank the thing that can't be named for everything and nothing. It's just an incredible world. So can't wait for tomorrow. Hey, what are you doing today?